Hi, and thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and help you to navigate the tax system as it applies to you. So today, as part of our bite-sized demo series in completing a self-assessment tax return, are going to run through the pages if you have property income to declare. Before I go on to that, if I could please ask if you could take a moment, if you haven't already, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you need to, as well as being able to navigate to other information that we have available on a whole host of different topics, all aimed at helping you to navigate the tax system, specifically in relation to submitting or completing a self-assessment tax return. If you navigate to the playlist section of our YouTube channel, you will find a playlist with our bite-sized series, and you can pick the pages that you need help with and see our basic demos on those. So back then to the property pages of a self-assessment tax return. So you will know from the tailoring the tax return section that if you on the tailoring pages, if you answer yes to having a certain type of income, then the software will bring you up with the pages that you require. So here, if you have selected yes, you have income from property, then you will be given the pages that you need. And we're just going to look at a basic overview of submitting the pages and presume that you have a sort of rough idea of which sections are relevant to you. If you aren't sure on any of the questions, you will see the help under the drop down under the question. And if you click that, it will give you an explanation. Also, you will see that some of the questions are optional, which means that you don't have to provide an answer if you don't wish to, or if it's not relevant. So do you want to claim rent a room relief? How many properties do you rent out? Do you have any property from jointly let, from property let jointly? Did all property income cease in the tax year? So that means, did you stop receiving that income? And if you have disposed of the property that you were renting, then there's just a prompt to make sure that you have submitted the capital gains summary to HMRC. Of course, you may not have disposed of the property, and that's fine. You obviously then wouldn't need to complete that section until such time that you did. But also it is important to answer this question, because if you don't have that income anymore, and that is the only reason that you need to complete a self-assessment tax return, then HMRC will know to stop sending you requests. So next question relates, or next couple of questions relate to furnished holiday lettings. So this is where you're, as the name suggests, providing a holiday letting that's furnished. There are some rules, that the sort of different tax treatment, but there are some rules to be able to qualify this. So even if you are letting a property as a holiday let, you still need to fulfill the criteria, and there is some basic information on there. If you do have a furnished holiday let, but you don't meet the criteria to be able to submit this, then you would just submit the information in the general property information. So here you're going to complete the sorry, I just wanted to show you, if you click yes, if you did have UK furnished holiday lettings and you meet the criteria, if you select yes, then it will give you the pages that are relevant for that, as you can see. And if you select no, then it will just take you on to the next page for property income. So this is where you would put all other property income. And it's also important to note that you would only put the details in one section. So if you complete the furnished holiday lettings pages and put the same information on this general page, then you will be duplicating the income, and that will obviously impact your tax liability. So total rents from and any other income from the property. So property allowances, or if you are breaking down your costs, you would leave this blank. And again, you've got some help if you're not quite sure what the question means. Did you use traditional accounting? So again, we've covered this in other videos, but basically it's an optional question. But accounting, traditional accounting means that you're accounting for the income and the expenditure in the year that they were incurred. Cash basis means effectively you're just dealing with, you're treating the income as received when you receive it, and the income as paid when you pay it out. And again, we're just really sticking to the actually completing the tax return. So we won't go into that in more detail. We do have other information videos and with more detail of that. So again, yes or no, but it's an optional question. If you have paid any tax or premiums for grant of a lease, would go in the separate box. So if you're not using the property allowance and you're actually breaking down your expenses, there here you would put the costs that you've incurred. So it's sort of fairly self-explanatory how to break those down. Obviously, the most important thing is that once you've submitted these boxes, that the total property expenses is correct. And some may be sort of judgmental as to which, or a matter of judgment as to which box that they go in. And I would suggest that if that's the case, if you have an expense like that, that the most important thing is consistency. So if one year you put something in the certain box, that you are consistent, and the next year you categorize it for the same. Any private use adjustment, balancing charges, annual investment allowance. So these are things that you on basic landlord income that you may not have. If you don't have them, just leave them blank. If you have losses from previous years and that don't include your residential property finance costs, then you can bring those forward. And if you wish, offset them against the income. So this is where you would put those in. If you didn't have any previous losses, then this won't be relevant and you can leave it blank. Residential property finance costs. So this is if you have a mortgage on your buy-to-let property. So the reason that this doesn't go in the expenses is that you'll be aware that now this is taxed differently, and you just get the sort of like allowance at 20%, regardless of what rate you're paying tax. So that is why it's important that it goes here and you don't include it in the expenses. So as you can see on all of these screens, I haven't actually submitted any information, haven't completed any of the boxes, and it's let me proceed. So this is what I mentioned previously. If a box isn't relevant or there's nothing to enter, you can just leave it blank. The portal system will always let you know if something is required. It will flag up. It won't let you proceed to the next page without putting the answer in. So hopefully this is helped and given you a sort of an understanding of the questions that you can expect if you need to submit information required to property income, and just a basic overview. And the reason that we only do the basic overview is, of course, the bite-sized demos are intended for those that are completing their own tax return. And if the matters are very complex, or if you really don't understand them and you can't get to grips with them, then obviously we would suggest that you're using somebody to support you in that. In any case, if you do engage a professional to help you, as we always like to remind you, please do make sure that they're qualified for what they're helping you with, or the advice that they're given, that they're a member of a professional body if applicable, and that they have indemnity insurance for the services that they're completing. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or any points that are unclear, or requests for future topics, then please do let us know. Thank you. Goodbye.